Well, hello again, Washington, D.C. It's been a while. Today we are going to one of the places I've always wanted to go in my life. I want to go to the Smithsonian Museum of American History today. Oh, please show me some Hendrix, please. The nice thing about Washington, D.C. is that all the museums are pretty much free. Problem is, you just have to find parking. I think we're actually following the Boy Scouts. Oh buddy, as soon as we get here, we're looking at memorabilia. They've got little Jimmy Dickens, Hawaiian lap steel player Buddy Emmons lap steel here. They've got Steve Cropper, his guitar and amplifier here from Booker T and the MGs and Blues Brothers Band. There's a Dave Jaramillo lowrider. And where we're heading to the third floor. That's where the entertainment section is. And then we'll look around from there. Beautiful, look at that. Here they've got the making of money and everything right here. I'm telling you, this place is like a school. It is full of kids, screaming kids already. Okay, here we go. Entertainment Nation. Over here, they have Dizzy Gillespie's horn, his trumpet. Kind of a unique style, pointing up. 1977. Look over here. R2-D2 and C-3PO from Return of the Jedi. 1983. It's pretty cool. And they're totally all for filming and everything here. They just told me I couldn't use my little handle, my little selfie stick handle. Kermit and Miss Piggy. Night at the Opera here from the 70s. That is so cool. I've seen several Kermits, but never gets old. Giant Circus banner. That's awesome. I love it. You know I'm a Barnum and Bailey fan. Statue is a painted wood statue from P.T. Barnum's Circus wagon from 1902. And then speaking of Barnum and Bailey, they have Tom Thumb's hat down here. Here we have a baseball and a mitt from 1875 and a guidebook for how to play the game. It says this is Cardinal Wolsey. Costume worn by Charlotte Cushman. I'm not real familiar with who that is. It was from 1857. So you can tell by the floor, the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road right to Judy Garland's ruby slippers. One of the authentic pair that we know for sure. These are 1939. No light at all in this case, so it's kind of hard to bring out the beauty in them because it's really a dark case, but I'm gonna try my best here. And with smudged glass from people pressing their nose up against it. Wow. Very cool to see. So here they have the costume of Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton 2015. And they have a picture of him wearing it. Here they have a shield used by Chris Evans in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. The suit here, this red suit, was Ellen DeGeneres's. And then the guitar up here was Toby Keith's guitar, who recently passed away. So up here you see some skateboards. It says that these are the first skateboards of Tony Hawk. It says that number 19, which is this bottom one here, that was Tony Hawk's first board, and Jamie Reyes used the orange one. And then here they have the necklace chain of Nipsey Hussle, who was basically like assassinated outside of his own store. He would put a lot of the money that he made back into the community, and he had opened a store in the community and was killed right outside the store. This is Elizabeth Moss's costume from The Handmaid's Tale. Steve Aoki's platform. That lab coat is Bill Nye the Science Guy. And then this is a piece from Jurassic Park. A prop. This is the cape of Walter Mercado. If you ever heard of him, I saw a documentary on him. He was a, it's kind of like a, he was on Univision and Telemundo, and he was psychic. They have his crystal ball here, as well as his like gown. He said he basically just went away because he didn't want people to see him age. And there's the stopwatch from 60 Minutes, the intro of 60 Minutes. All you Dr. Fauci fans, that was his face mask that he wore to the Nationals game 2020. That black suit was Jon Stewart's suit that he wore when he interviewed President Obama. And this 98 jersey for the Washington was Jason Collins. He wore the 98 on his jersey in tribute to Matthew Shepard, college student who died after being tortured for being gay. And then this microphone, this gold-plated microphone, was Oprah's. Said she used it for the season opener of her 24th season. Mia Hamm's Team USA jersey. Sorry about the flickering, the lighting that they're using. I can't really seem to get around it. This like bat suit, that was Halle Berry's when she was protesting that there were no black superheroes during 2014. Oh, this is the sign from MASH, from the camp. How cool is that? Joe Louis's boxing gloves. I have a picture of him right over there. One of the greatest fighters of all time, boxers. It says these are his gloves from his first bout with Max Schmeling, 1936. It's a very famous rivalry they had. Legend. And buried at Arlington. Veteran. Oh boy, you know what that is. So here you can do the fun photo with this guitar, but the actual real Prince guitar is right there. Custom made and played. The yellow cloud guitar from 1983. Charlie McCarthy! The original Charlie. That's great. That is the typewriter used by Orson Welles in 1926 during the peak of his career. Oh, and look at that. Animation sketch of Steamboat Willie. Mickey Mouse. Here they're acknowledging the Rockford Peaches that we saw in the League of Their Own. Girls' professional baseball team. That is Irving Berlin's uniform hat that he wore, and this is the Army. But I thought it was Sergeant Slaughter's at first. Then they have his sheet music from God Bless America. They have a figurine of Mae West because she was a provocative, liberated woman figure in movies. And then they have this coat that Betty Davis wore in the movie Now Voyager. And then that cup right over here, that giant cup, is the trophy that Gertrude Ederle won for swimming the English Channel. And there are her goggles from doing it. The boxing gloves right there were worn by Gene Tunney in the long count fight with Jack Dempsey. 1927. That trophy is actually a 1914 road racing trophy that was awarded to the great Jim Thorpe. And those dumbbells are marketed by Sandow, the perfect man. And then these shorts, these are Bessie Bonehill shorts. She was an impersonator who crossed the line of male and female for her time right there. And that is Frank Sinatra's bow tie. Here in the center they have a baseball signed by Babe Ruth. Buck Leonard's travel bag from his time in the Negro Leagues, and he actually just got in the Hall of Fame last year. This is Selena's outfit.
You can be from multiple places now. You're born in one state. But I was born in Mississippi.
Here's the back of Selena's clothing if you wanted to see it. So here they have Rocky's robe, which Stallone, I believe, still technically owns this, but loans it out. That is really cool to see. Who's not a Rocky fan? Plus it's got the Shamrock Meats patch on there and everything. And then this hat was Larry Hagman's hat from Dallas. Popular show of the 80s. And then the hockey gloves were worn in the 1980 Olympics by the US hockey team. Oh, that's awesome. That is the boombox of Fab Five Freddy, who was the host of UMTV Raps from around 1985. And then the sweatshirt that we see was New York City Breakers B-Boy crew founder Michael Holman's sweatshirt. And then of course Michael Jordan's jersey from the 96-97 season, because he's probably the greatest basketball player of all time. Oh, this is talking about the warning label, the parental advisory coming out because of 2 Live crew. Luther Campbell. Hey, you made it to Smithsonian. Willie Nelson's headband and a program from Farm Aid. The great Willie Nelson. And that red skirt is Cyndi Lauper's punk prom skirt from the cover of her debut solo album, She's So Unusual. Then we also have Prop Egg from Alien from 1986, Cracked Egg, and then Christy Yamaguchi's 1992 Skates. And they also have Gloria Estefan's dress from the Miami Sound Machine, and also one of her conga drums. Pretty cool display here. Oh, perfect. One of the main things I wanted to come see, Archie and Edith's chair. Glenn Beck actually bought the set recently, so he has the real set, but they're the chairs. Back when you could do things that are politically incorrect and it was still considered funny the way it should be, poking humor at the absurdities of life and the absurdities of people. That worn-in chair. That is so cool. Old Archie. Okay, there's a playbill from The Crucible by Arthur Miller. And they have an autographed baseball signed by Jackie Robinson. Kind of hard to see, but he's the very top autograph on there. And then that is the German professor costume that Sid Caesar used to wear, who I did meet when he was in the Beverly Hills Rehabilitation Hospital with Shelley Winters when I went to visit her. They were both in there at the same time. They'd have lunch together sometimes. And then you see Tonto and the Lone Ranger behind there. That's because they have the mask right there. That is Diana Ross's dress from the Supremes. That is really cool. And that was a handmade sign announcing the acid tests. It says, if you look through there, you can see where it says The Grateful Dead and Neil Cassidy. And then Phyllis Diller, her dress, can't miss that. Picture of her head right behind it, so it almost looks like she's wearing it. And she even has the matching shoes for it. Then football icon Roger Staubach. It says that was his Naval Academy jersey, actually. And then Muhammad Ali's robe. The great Muhammad Ali. It says this is the robe that he wore while training for fight with George Foreman in 1974. The Yankees hat was worn by Allie Reynolds, and he was a Native American pitcher for the Yankees who used to promote American Indian causes. And that's Ray Werner's Basketball Association jacket, because he was in the part of the National Wheelchair Basketball Association, 1954. So that's what the NWBA is. Well, that costume's great. That's Zero Mostel's costume from Fiddler on the Roof. This was important because of the impact of the topic was about Jewish Americans and immigration and all that. And then they have the baseball glove of Sandy Koufax. That is Roberto Clemente's jersey from 1970, it looks like it says. And then they have LeVar Burton shackles from Roots when he played Kunta Kinte. 1977. And that's Billie Jean King's uniform she wore for the Battle of the Sexes match, 1973. Over here we have a couple of Muppets here. See, that's Rosita. And then the outfit was from Dr. Loretta Long, who played Susan Robinson on Sesame Street. And then down here, that is the original Grover before he was blue. That's pretty cool. I thought that's who that looked like, but I was like, yeah, that's a weird, like, greenish yellow color to him. Then there's Cookie Monster, the original Cookie Monster. Wow. The original from 1969. Mr. Rogers' shoes that he would always change in and out of at the beginning and the end of each show. And then his right-hand man, the mail carrier, Mr. McFeely's mail carrying uniform. His speedy delivery, including his hat. And then beside it is Howdy Doody. That's Lonnie Burr's original hat. Cast of the Mouseketeers. Oh, that's cool. The gloves and the ears and the chain and everything are Julie Newmar's. She wore on Batman when she played Catwoman. Haha, that's neat. And those are Gillian Anderson's prop credentials from X-Files. And then this costume on the left was Xena Warrior Princess. Original costume from the 90s.
You have to pose next to this FBI badge for your mom.
Middle outfit is from the Guild. And then this gold one with the interesting headpiece. That is the Empress costume from Star Trek Discovery. And these are katanas from The Walking Dead. And then that is a piece of the floor from Woodstock, which now, if you look online, somebody found a bunch of that flooring and is making necklaces out of it that you can buy and wear. That's the actual stage wood floor from Woodstock. Oh, and that's amazing. Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstein 2 guitar. Handmade by Eddie himself. That is killer. That absolutely should be in here. So this black guitar was Paul Simon's guitar from his performance in Central Park in 1991. There's Grandmaster Flash's turntable. And right above it, they have Jose Feliciano's classical guitar. And there's Celia Cruz's shoes. Queen of the Salsa. And that baton right there belonged to John Philip Sousa. And this tennis outfit, this tennis uniform was Althea Gibson's Wimbledon uniform from 1957. Shattering the color barrier. I've not seen any Hendrix stuff like I was seeing on the promotional materials. And I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen any I Love Lucy stuff either. Alright, speaking of movies, couldn't do it without the projectors, and that is an Edison Vitascope #1 from 1896. Early projector. And then you have a radio microphone from WANN from the 40s. Studio microphone. It says the first radio broadcast began in the 1920s. But not until the 40s and 50s did hundreds of new local stations give a radio voice to communities of color long ignored by national radio networks. WANN became an Annapolis, Maryland institution for black listeners. There's a Hot Point portable television from 1957. It's about the size of a cooler and it's got a handle on top. How about that? And then the Dolby Cinema processor from 1975, making cinemas blockbuster cinemas. And then there's the Starcom 2 cable box from 1982. God, look at that. Wow. And then of course, we move on to home video, camcorders, home video cassettes. Made popular by America's Funniest Home Videos. And then all you future vloggers like me, thank you telephones, which is what I started on. And as far as I can tell, this might be our last item of the day of memorabilia. You know her, you love her. Who wouldn't want their own genie? There's the purple painted genie bottle. And there's Genie popping out of it. That is awesome. Television, I Dream a Genie. Tony Nelson finds a genie in a bottle. For the aptly named Genie, it's love at first sight. For Tony, it's a chance to have his every wish granted. And it says it's a gift from Barbara Eden. Let's see what's in their little gift shop.
like the devil.
You should get. Mom, look at
Whitney, Selena.
Get that?
No, there's a small thing.
Purple Rain. Did not see anything Hendrix in there at the moment. Little teeny tiny mini snow globes with the ruby slippers in them. Wow, I don't know how I missed this. This thing is gigantic. This big, huge stained glass. Wow, it's right up here as we first walked in. Well, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. Thank you all for watching. I think I might make another video in this museum on one of the other floors, so hope you enjoyed seeing the entertainment section. I was not disappointed, although I know they have Fonzie's leather jacket. It's not on display. I know they don't display everything, but would have loved to have seen that. So we'll catch you next time. Have a great night and goodbye.